Welcome to another Brand Doctor podcast episode. We have an amazing Facebook I gotta turn this off. We have an amazing Facebook ads genius. We have an awesome person that I have met through a mutual friend, and she is going to help us today connect with our audience on Facebook. So without further ado, I want to welcome Rachel Miller to the show. What is going on, Rach?
Thank you. Yeah, I love helping people build engagement on their page because so many people love to focus on the fan numbers or the people that are there, and they've attracted a dead audience, and then they're putting posts out and they're wondering why they're not getting anywhere. And I love to help people reach the hearts of their audience. So yeah, that's what we'd like to do. We've helped 31 people so far get single post to over 10 million people. And we've helped 3 of those people get post to over 50 million. Wow. And we've had one person go from 0 size of a page to 1 million fans. We have 3 more people close on her heels with over 800,000 fans each. So yeah, it's really fun to see the growth that's happening if you focus on your audience and not on yourself.
Well, and I can't wait to get into that. So what I want to start with is, how did Rachel begin this business and brand to begin with?
I know, it's kind of comical. I'm a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom now. I used to be a teacher 11 years ago. I was teaching high school economics, and I loved it. But what that kind of is supply and demand and analytics and stats. And so when I had to become a stay-at-home mom, I had 2 kids back to back. I got pregnant kind of on maternity leave. So, which I didn't, anyways, you know how life happens. So life happens, it threw us for a little bit of a curveball. And so that meant I was going to be staying home with my kids. And I'm like, no, that's crazy. Because that was not like my brain sitting just talking to 2 babies all day. It was really hard for my brain to calm down and just be there. And I felt so alone, and it was just, so my husband came home one day and was like, you need to go online. And that love of stats and that love of analytics and that love of supply and demand, and when you do this happens to the market. I fell in love with that, with the social aspect of social media and blogging and websites. And so I created one viral site, made over 29 posts or 30 posts. I can't remember I should pull up the number again. Posts go to over 1 million page views. So that's people that clicked onto my post and then who read my post. So that's unique clicks to my website. I got over 30 posts to get to 1 million people. So I built that site, and then I sold it. And then I built another site and I made it go viral, and I had millions of views on it. I've had 51 million page views to that site so far. And then I built 2 more websites. And then in the course of that, I was talking to somebody about making a meal plan, because I was like, so I have this audience of crockpot people. I actually don't cook. I actually don't do anything house-oriented ever. Laundry, cooking, anything of that, that's just not my thing. I'm sure that's not most people's thing, but whatever. But so I tend to do a lot more takeout than probably is healthy for people. But so anyways, so I have this crockpot page. They love crockpots. I love crockpot people. So I want to serve them. They're asking for a meal plan. I hired these people, this team, they made a meal plan. So I want to have you help me put the package together. And they're like, wait a second, what? But you don't cook, so why are you making a meal plan? That's not your gift. And as he said that, I was like, I'm hoarding my gift. I mean, it took me 3 days for the light bulb to no, I'm not. That's my gift. My gift is I ask an audience what they want. I'm going to give it to them. And as he's talking to me, I was like, okay, wait a second. This is bugging me. The fact that he said this and the fact that it's kind of under my skin and irritating me 3 days later is because he's probably right. And what I didn't realize, I'd spent a decade building audiences, not telling anyone really what I was doing. I was just building these audiences and making a decent, solid income. I mean, I was making 5 figures a month off of my audiences. I can show you right now, one of my audiences still brings in $14,000, $15,000 a month. I do nothing to build it. This happened. I built it a year and a half ago, and I haven't worked on it in 6 months and it still brings in 5 figures a month. So it's just the recurring revenue of having built up the business, right? So anyways, I have those running, and I was like, I was living in this like bubble where if I taught you how to do what I do, you're somehow going to take away from what I have. Like maybe you'll have a DIY site that goes viral too, and then I won't have those virals. Or maybe I'm a cat site. I have a cat site as well. And maybe you're going to make a cat site that's just like mine. I've had 5 students do that. Literally, they made the same site that I have, almost identical. Like we're talking, I put the post up, they put it up 3 days later. My name is this. They put their name as that with a 1 on the end. I'm like, so anyways, it's like literally, but the thing is, it didn't hurt my traffic at all. My traffic was fine. So all it did was multiply my impact. So I was in this mindset where if I share what I know, it's going to hurt me. And somehow that changed when that guy said, that's not your gift. And you kind of have a responsibility with the world to share your gift with others. And my gift is helping attract eyeballs and collect people and get people to talk to each other. And a people collector is, I guess, what you could call me, right? So being that that's my gift, I have a duty kind of to help you collect people. And then to see you and your collections as kind of part of my bigger reach. So I got really excited about my own virals. And now it's really cool to see other people have even bigger virals that I got to help them create. So
I love it. I love it. You really found your passion, it sounds to me.
I love people.
so you love people, you love connecting, and you just found the way to do it on Facebook. So what I want to do is I want to get into the nuts and bolts of this a little bit. And just for the folks that are going to be listening to this on the podcast and actually watching it on YouTube, we actually do these Facebook Lives as well, simultaneously. So anybody that's on Facebook right now that's tuned in and you want to ask some questions to Rachel, drop them in the comments and I'll fire them away to Rachel. And Rach, if you want to go to, I don't know if you could do this quickly, but if you want to go to my personal Facebook page.
Awesome. I'll pull it up and answer.
Yeah. And quick share this onto your page. That'd be awesome.
What's the page again, real fast? I mean, you told me earlier, but I just forgot.
It's my personal page and it's Henry Kaminski Jr.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you.
You got it. So Mark Vitarello says, Rachel, the people collector. Love it.
I know it's kind of funny, but like, I did not realize, but that's what I really get excited about. Like I have a cat audience, guys. There's 100,000 plus cat people. And it's funny because I'm not a cat person, but once I did this meme and all these cat people started like following me, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Oh, I love this. Did you see how they talk to each other? And I suddenly like fell in love, not with cats. I still don't like cats, but I fell in love with my cat people. It's really fun. So it's a people collective thing. Yeah.
I love it. So here's my next question. So my next question is, how does one really connect with their audience on Facebook? What are some tactical things? What are some things entrepreneurs, small business owners, what should they be doing to really connect with their target audience on Facebook?
Yeah. The first one, I'm just sharing this really fast into your group real fast. Okay. The first tip is to make your content about your reader. If your content's about you, it's really hard for people to connect with you because they don't know who you are yet. So I like to think of this kind of like a relationship of if you're telling your personal story on your personal profile and somebody else copies your status update and makes it their own, we kind of feel kind of weird about that, right? Like I just announced I got engaged and you copied my announcement, you copied my photo and you put it on your wall. Like, who are you? What are you doing? That would kind of make us all feel icky on the inside. The same feeling of ickiness that people have when they're sharing somebody else's personal event is what they have if they're not close to you, right? So if a brand, if they're not really close to that brand, they're gonna feel that icky factor if they're sharing your content, if they're commenting on the content, if it's not something that they would self-identify with. So change the focus of your page from it being about you or your products or your content or your message. I was just telling an entrepreneur like 3 days ago, he's like, well, I'm educating them. They all want to be educated. I'm like, what entrepreneur out there wants to be educated? No, what they want is to make an impact on others with their own business, right? So your job is to help them make a bigger impact. Your job is not to educate the entrepreneur, because they're going to be like, dude, I know what I'm doing. Who are you? Your page is this. You want to be in the position to amplify them. When you amplify them, they're going to turn around and engage with you, and that amplifies you. So make it about your reader.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So we have a couple questions. So Mark Vitarello says, what was the percentage of traffic regarding organic versus paid ads?
With One Crazy House, that 51,000 fans, I think I did that with under 10K in total for the entire 51,000.
Wow.
So I can pull up my ad account right now to show it to you guys if you wanted to know. I can pull up the lifetime spent. It's 26,000 for that entire account. Now that account also promotes other of my pages, so it's not entirely that account, but let's see here. The majority of it, lifetime, I'm pulling up the lifetime on it. Okay, that goes back to 2019 and 2009, excuse me, and this is only a 3-year-old site. So in total, I've spent 26,000 in that ad account total, but 3 years, let's call it 3 years, make it custom. Oh, it's not letting me do custom right now. Okay, it's not letting me fix it right now, so it's like grayed out right now. So give me a little bit. It's, you know how it loads, but it's not very much money compared to the amount of money I've made off of that site.
Got it. All right. So Paul Sabay says, do you find some days are better for marketing than others?
Yes, Saturdays are a poor day for me. Friday nights in the mom crowd actually is a good time. So Sunday afternoons, good time in the mom crowd. After the kids first get home from school, you think that moms would be busy. I wouldn't go Facebook Live then, but Facebook posts, because the mom's doing homework with their kids and they're bored out of their minds, so they're on Facebook. So amazingly enough, like, you got to think about those times of when your crowd is most engaged. So cat people are on all hours. So even 2 a.m. sometimes. So it kind of makes sense, because some of them, they tend to not be as many married couples in the cat page as they are on, say, my Crock-Pot page. My Crock-Pot page, daylight hours are more important. Cat page, believe it or not, they also have a lot of people online at night. So my guess is they're waking up in the night and they're like checking Facebook because they're bored. So it's just different people. So each demographic responds online differently.
I love it. So this tells me one thing that you're really, really savvy with. You really understand your customer. You really understand your audience.
You have to literally get into their heads.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know what they call themselves, what they think other people that aren't them are, because you're going to make memes about that. You're going to say, oh guys, we know we are real cat people because we don't talk about cat food, because that's too divisive here. Like, literally I've said, guys, we don't talk about cat food. Like, we don't go there. Like, make that as a comment. You won't see how many people like that, because cat people actually are really passionate about their cat food. Like, that's a real topic for them. I would have never known that that's like a hot topic, but oh my word, is it a hot topic? I would have thought like spaying and neutering or whatever. No. The one that's the real button pusher, cat food. So it's just funny. You have to get into their heads. And I do that by interviewing them.
Interesting.
And not like a survey, like literally talking to them on the phone.
So talk to me about that. So how do you make that happen?
Well, when I have a diehard fan that's engaged on my page 2 or 3 times, and it's that time of year or whenever that I'm doing my reader audit, or if it's a brand new page that I'm making that like litmus test as to who is the diehard fan. When I'm doing that video and I'm trying to figure out my content at that point, I will contact people who've recently commented on my page, because they're people who are already talking to me. And I'll message them and say, hey, you commented today on my page about cats, and here's the thing, I'm making some changes on my site, and I was wondering if you wanted to hop on a call with me just so that I can know more about cats and how you engage with them, or more about crockpots and what you're using crockpots for. That will help me make my business better, and I would just be ever in your debt if you would chat with me. And in my crockpot page, I got people to talk to me on the phone, and I found out something I would have never found out through targeting, or audience insights, because they didn't publicly like these pages. They didn't publicly identify. But the thing is, a lot of them were part of the Latter-day Saints, and they were making their crockpot meals to take to women's society meetings. Silly me, I thought crockpot people, and you look in analytics, it tells you they're soccer moms. They're the moms who are, suburban moms. That's who I thought it was. Yes, it is, but it's suburban moms who are primarily Latter-day Saints, is the diehard fans who were the crockpot people. So that told me, take alcohol off my page, make comments about family values, make things that they would agree with more. And now my conversions, my sense of trust with that brand rose. And I would have never figured that out if I hadn't gotten them on the phone and said, hey, why are you making a crockpot meal? Oh, for your women's society? Well, what's a women's society? Oh, it's your word meeting. Okay, well, what's a word? And then I just let that go because I felt like I was asking too many questions of this poor. And then when the second person says she makes it for women's society, I'm like, okay, wait a second. Like, okay, third person says women's society. I'm like, okay, so what's up with these women's society things, guys? Like, what is this? That I didn't know I didn't know that Latter-day Saints have women's society meetings, but they do. Kind of cool. So yeah.
I love how so in tune you are with people.
Yeah.
I mean, with people in general. I think that is so important. And, you know, everyone loves to hear themselves talk, I think, you know, including myself.
Yeah, totally.
But if we just took a step back and maybe just started to do some more research on our audience, I think you would get that insight very, very quickly.
Let them talk.
Right. And just shut up. Yeah.
And right now, Facebook has said that. Facebook has said what they're valuing right now is meaningful connections to each other. So what they're wanting is people to talk to each other on your page. So right now, after that whole algorithm change, we are still seeing pages go viral. We had a girl just last week, no, it was 10 days ago, get her post to over 12 million people in like 5 days. And she did it because everybody commented, and then their brothers commented, and their mother's brothers, and you know, they're all talking on her page because she valued comments.
I love it. Yeah. So I'm a huge proponent of that. I'm a huge fan about that. Like when somebody comments on Instagram, Facebook, I mean, I try my best on all platforms to get and reply back to them as soon as possible. So they know it's not, you know, some widget responding back to them or some bot, you know, like
now,
I think that.
Do you respond as your person or do you respond as your page or both?
I respond as me. So
awesome.
Yeah. So it's like, so I'm really leveraging my fan page right now. I really want people to get to know me as the brand doctor, as Henry, as the owner of Unique Designz. But it's very hard to grow, in my opinion. It's very hard to grow like a business page these days. So I went to building out my personal brand. And one of my mentors was just like, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to build you out than like a business page. They were talking about Instagram, not Facebook. So I don't want to blur the lines here, but I want to focus on Facebook today because this is your strong point. So, you know, I think one of the things that I'm struggling with is on my fan page, if I'm not spending money, if I'm not boosting posts, nobody's seeing my stuff.
Is your fan page about you or is it about your reader?
Well, it's funny that you say that. So it's about me. It's so about me.
Yeah, well, remember, it's like going on a date, right? So, like, okay, guys, to like be completely honest, I haven't actually gone on a date in like almost 20 years, probably. I mean, other than my husband, I've been married for over 15 years. So, like, and I've got 6 kids. I'm not dating, so I don't know really what the dating scene is like. So I'm imagining what dating would be like. So I'm imagining what Tinder would be like. And I'm imagining that, you know, somebody would say, hey, you want to go on a date on Friday? I'll pick you up at 8. I'm like, dude, I don't know who you are. Like, so I'm assuming I would need to have a couple conversations. Hey, what's about you? I want to have that back and forth dialogue first. So to start that though, you don't start that dialogue by saying, hey, I'm hot, I'm over here, I'm available. You start that dialogue by saying, hey, tell me about yourself and what you're interested in. We all know that's leading to you going on a date, right? But you start it by talking about that other person and getting them to engage with you. And then when they've engaged with you, say, hey, by the way, I'm interested, you know, I've got this event or I have this thing. I want you to give me your email address. I want you to take action for me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Paul Sabay has another great question. He took the word, he took the thought right out of my head. Paul said, what's your favorite source for content or topics? Do you follow trends?
I do follow trends. I use Google Trends for some topics. I use Keyword Planner to look for related terms. I use a lot of Facebook search because Facebook will tell you exactly what's doing well right now. Because as a person, you can type in, I want something about, I don't know, anything, right? And you can see what the related post Facebook says. And then you can even go in and hover on them, and you can see how many people are liking it, how many people are commenting. So you can pick the posts that are doing well right now and see the trends of those posts.
And that's right in the search query in Facebook.
I know, it's like right there. Facebook tells you. I mean, it's like, it's so simple. And for me, I save them and then I post them, and it just lets you post fast too.
Oh my God. See guys, the answers are literally under your nose. Literally under your nose.
Sorry, my camera's going in and out. That's kind of weird. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with the camera.
It's all good. Okay, so let's recap real quick. So one is really understanding your audience and speaking to them and what they want to talk about, not what you want to talk about.
Yes. And putting it into their perspective, because if they're going to share your post, they're sharing something that says who they are. If they're going to comment on their post, they're commenting because they're relating to who they are. They know their mother and their brother and their sister are going to see this post if they comment on it. So they want to have something that's going to make them look good. So if you're saying something like, I've got 10 tips to fix your broken business, yet they're not going to share a comment on that. They're not going to run away from that. Like, dude, that's going to say to my friends and family, I got a bad business. I got a kick-ass business. What would I need to say to, what kind of post would portray me as that? Does that make sense?
Totally. This is phenomenal stuff. My head's spinning.
So you just have to change, like you have the same opt-in. Fix your dead business. 10 ways to fix your dead business. Yes, that might get conversions in an ad, but it's not going to get you that organic reach because no one's going to comment and share on it in the same way they would something that says, take your business to that next level. You're already amazing. You're already an amazing business person. Just take it to that next level. That's something that's easier for them to comment and share on because it makes them look good.
Aha.
It says you're already good. Hey mom, see, I'm already good. I'm commenting on this post.
I love it. All right. So how else does one connect with their audience on Facebook?
Well, you have messenger chat. There's commenting on Facebook really loves comments between people right now. Messenger chat, comments between people. Anytime you get someone to write to you with more than 3 lines, I feel like 3 lines seems to be like the magic amount right now, but everything changes so fast. So, it might change next week.
That's so crazy. Okay. All right. So the bottom line here is this. If you're not doing your homework on your audience, you're never going to be able to get that reach. You're never going to be able to get that connection.
Yes.
That's it. So guys.
And you can go into the audience insights, and Facebook tells you so much about who your reader is and the pages they're interested in. And you can do that in addition to calling them and talking to them.
Interesting. So can you show us where that is?
Yeah, sure.
So make believe you're on a regular Zoom and you just share screen.
Okay, here we go. I'm in my page right now. I'm pulling up my page. Here is one of my pages, and I'm going to go into Audience Insights. And this tool that just popped up lets me see, I can't remember the name of it. It lets me see which ones I can target. So if I want to go everyone on Facebook and I go to page likes, I can see I can target all these blue ones. And I can't remember the name of the extension, but it lets me do that. So, yep, there it is, Facebook Audience Insights Plus. That lets me see which ones I can target. So anything that's red, I can't target them. I can't target the NRA. Imagine that, guys. Facebook has made targeting of some hot topics more difficult. But I can target all of these. So I can go in right now and I can pull up my Facebook page. So here's one of my pages. And I can see, here's the pages that are similar to mine. I can go down here and I can see by audience affinity, the ones that are most similar to mine and less similar. I can go in, so I'm gonna wanna target all of these people in my Facebook ads. If I ever wanna do a Facebook ad, I wanna target Amy Porterfield, Derek Halpern, Pat Flynn, Jennifer Allwood, and Marie Smith. Because right now Facebook says, these are the people that you can target that are in your audience, right? These other people, Elite Blog Academy, Melissa Griffin, Stu McLaren, I'm gonna wanna do podcasts with them or some way because I can't target them, they're red. I can't target them, so I might wanna find another way to get onto their audience. So that might be if they have a Facebook group, sharing my content, talking to them in a Facebook group. Not necessarily sharing content, but in a way that they can find me so that my face stays relevant to them. If I can have them ever do a Facebook Live with me where I'm able to capture that custom audience, I want to make a lookalike based on that and then target their audience again. So that's one of the hack ways to get into those audiences. So I can see these are the people that are similar to mine. I can go into here, I can see where they're from. I can see that there's a lot are from Texas. Well, that makes sense. I'm in Texas. So Facebook does push your content more to your local region a little bit. So as a page, you will see more people from your local area. You can see activity. So you can see my people are really active on Facebook. So I've trained my audience to comment and to engage an awful lot. So you can see here that as a general rule, my audience is a highly engaged audience because I'm only bringing on the most active people to my page. So whenever I do targeted ads, I only want to bring on that person who's more likely to comment, to engage. So you can see here the amount of engagement they have. Let's go in and we're going to switch it and we're going to change the interest to, let's say, let's see, one was Marie Smith. Just because she was in my insights from before. So according to Facebook, we're similar, right? But you can see here, her engagement, she has 13 less likes. This isn't likes on her content, guys. This is her audience is less likely to engage because they're more passive users on Facebook. You don't want the passive users on Facebook. You want the most active people on Facebook. So I actually have one audience that's over 51 posts like. They can't help themselves. They have to like almost everything in their feed, which tells me all their friends and family are seeing them all the time, which means they're a good person for me to target. So you want to target those people who are most active on Facebook. And you can even use tools like Social Insider. Let me see if I can pull one of those up here. Oops, wrong one. Pulled up a different one on social. There we go. You can use Social Insider, and Social Insider and Tubular are two tools that lets you know how much engagement people have currently on their audiences. So this is something for me, I don't really care about my numbers of fans because that's not going to make my post go viral. What I care about is how many of my fans are engaged with my content. Because having a fan doesn't make bring in eyeballs. It doesn't bring traffic, just having a fan. Come on, it's taking forever to load. I have way too many windows open, like way too many. Let's see if I can close some of these and let's see if that helps. Come on.
This is amazing stuff.
I know. It's like taking forever to load. Ah!
Yeah.
But anyways, as soon as it loads, I will show you guys how you can see the engagement levels between different pages. So why one page has more engagement than another and why it's beneficial to focus just on that type of engagement. Come on. Okay, well, do you have another question while it's loading?
Well, we would have to stop sharing screen.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, so
there we go. Once it loads. Sorry about that.
Okay, so Lisa Hall Wilson asked, why would the pages like yours be in red? So why can't you target certain people?
Okay, Facebook there's different reasons why you're not able to target some pages. It could be that the majority of their fans aren't in the United States, and I can only target to the United States with the audience insights. I can only look into the United States. Or it could be that I picked a different country and they don't have fans in it. Does that make sense? So like if I, in audience insights, said I only want target people in South Africa, well, with Moolah Marketer, there's not enough people from South Africa to target from South Africa. So that would turn up red because you're not gonna be able to see those audience insights on that. If I was able to be seen. Blue, you guys only see that if it's red or blue, if you have that tool, which is called, I'd never remember the name of it. It's called Facebook Audience Insights Plus. And so that lets you see who you can target. So some people don't have a big enough audience in your niche, or they're oversaturated, which means everyone has targeted them so many times that Facebook's like, okay, this audience needs a little bit of a cool down because like they can't have ads all day. They have to have a little cool down.
Interesting. Okay.
But I pulled up the stats if you guys want to see the engagement rates.
Yeah, go for it. So
okay.
Here's the screen again.
Here's the screen again. And we brought up Marie Smith earlier, so I'm just going to pull her up again. Here's Marie Smith, and you can see how much engagement she gets. So she has 200,000 fans, and she has 10,000 people engaged. And typically she has 20% engaging on her page. So this means her audience has 20% will see posts and engage on a post. Let's see here. We've got, let's pull my page up. Where did it go? Here's mine. And you can see on my posts, we typically get a whole percentage more. So we've got 1.22%. And so I have roughly 1/4 the reach of Marie Smith, even though my page has 7,000 fans.
Again, the numbers, it's like, I'm not worried about. Right. It's about the engagement. It's about the engagement.
Yeah, you can see here I've got 3,000 people that have commented on my page in the last month. So that's 3,000 people that of my page of 7,000, one half of them almost have commented and made action on my page, which is pretty stinking cool. I mean, that's like ridiculous, right? So compare that to back to Marie again. She has 10,000 out of 200,000. So roughly I'm 1/3 the reach, a little less than 1/3 the reach, even though I'm like very,
well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Rach.
This is just showing you guys that the value of having an engaged user. If you make your content about your user, you're going to have higher engagement. I'll show you another one in here. This is my cat page that I was telling you guys about earlier. Here's my cat one. You can see, guys, just seeing these stats, this is like a really crappy day, okay? Crappy day. I mean, like, look at it. The stats are going down. This is not like a page that's thriving. Like, looking at the trend, you can see my trend is crappy, okay? But in spite of my trend being crappy, I still have 81,000 people engaged on the page right now, which is more than half my fan base.
Oh, I love it.
I
love it.
And so you can,
you gotta love live video. You got Canella in the background barking.
Well, right before I got on with you, I kicked my dog in the kennel. I was like, oh no. I had him in the kennel. How did he get out?
I love it. So I got to make sure, because we have another podcast episode in about 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But we're good. We're still good with time. Paul Sabay has another question. Okay. I love Paul because he has the best questions.
I love it. Go, Paul.
He says, what about asking audience questions, like open-ended questions?
Oh yeah, all the time. So I actually have a list of them. I gave you a link to, like, and inside that link, I believe there's like 3 different freebies that I have. Like, it's basically everything you need to grow your audience. Well, not everything, but like a big solid start. And one of those is my top questions that you can ask your audience. Anyone can ask them. So yeah.
I love it. And I'll share that link with you guys after this podcast for sure. And I'll have it linked up in the notes and all of that.
Oh, great.
But Paul Carmichael has a question. Okay. What about niche categories, Facebook groups? Let's take customer service as a category. Obviously, good customer service is important in any business. How do you attract fans to read your stuff if they want to learn about customer service inside a C-store versus an insurance agency?
C-store, what's a customer? Can you explain the question to me?
Yeah, Paul needs to do a little bit more of elaborating on what is a C-store, so we can kind of get a better idea of
okay, I'm going to assume that he's talking about how do I get my people to be educated about customer service stuff. So he wants people who want to be educated about customer service stuff. Well, who is the person who wants to be educated about customer service stuff? Is this a manager who's managing 15 people and he's trying to convince them to be better at customer service, so he needs education for them? Well, what do you think he needs? Something that says I'm a bad manager, or something that says I'm the best manager ever? What would say I am the best manager ever? Because if you can engage with that, you will cause him to identify with you and cause him to follow your content. And then when later on you come to him and say, hey, here's 10 ways to fix a horrible situation that happened in your store, he will trust you because he's already engaged with you and you've already kind of stroked his ego a little while. And so he now believes that you can help him.
Got it.
And you've also identified him. You've used content that have identified him. I've seen that happen 2 times right now. One is Roland Frazier. If you can go to his Facebook page right now, you'll see at the top of his page, he has something about really high-end bourbon, okay? His goal with that content is to attract people who are at the high-end caliber of luxury lifestyle. They're usually CEOs of large companies. They're CFOs. They're vice presidents, right? They're people who are entrepreneurs that are no longer entrepreneurs and are now running their own companies, right? So he's trying to attract that person, right? How does he do that? What type of content do only people who are at that socioeconomic status engage with? Well, his page is full of just that identifying stuff, okay? Like traveling on a jet, drinking a certain type of bourbon. You don't see his picture in his content. He's showing his lifestyle in that content. So then he's basically attracting those people to him so he can retarget them with his high-end memberships and masterminds, which I'm actually part of.
I love Roland. I follow him, and I've met him a few times at
he's
Traffic
the best.
and Conversion. Yeah, he's a great guy. Real.
Do you have Traffic and Conversion too?
I didn't go this year, but I went the past couple years.
Okay, yeah, I got to go this year.
But he is real humble guy, like real soft. But I know exactly what you're talking about because he was just in Colombia with his family, And again, he wasn't on camera. He was doing a tour of this like beautiful penthouse apartment that he rented and it was amazing. And he was.
The thing is, somebody else could have shared that exact video and it would have felt okay coming from them because it didn't have his face talking about his hotel room. Well, if it's his face talking about his hotel room, well, now they feel like I'm in your hotel experience. Ugh, I'm in your hotel room. That's kind of creepy. But if it's you just like, oh, here's the great view. Wait a second. I want that view. Hey, honey, next time we go here, here's our... Then you're engaging that same person and all their friends because you know that CFO of a large corporation has other CFOs as their friends. So you're attracting that demographic to you.
I love it.
About them.
I love it. I mean, if there's one huge takeaway that we all need to pay attention to today, it's this, guys. It is create content that will make your audience feel like they're part of it. Create your content about your people.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So creating content about your people. Make them feel, and that's how you make it share worthy. That's how you go viral. That's how you grow your audience.
And then when you've grown your audience, you can then plug yourself all day long. Like you have people you can plug yourself to. They're there to plug yourself to, but to attract them, you start by the other. So you can do both. So it's not like you can never promote yourself. Just remember, you have to woo them first before you go straight to the promotion.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you, Henry.
Rachel, you're the bomb.
Okay. I appreciate you with your audience today. Have a great day.
Listen, real quick, before we leave, for those folks that are listening to the podcast, that are watching on YouTube, that are on Facebook, where can they find you?
I'm on the Facebook page Moolah Marketer, and I have a free Facebook group that's full of topics and events and like tips, and it's page strategies, Facebook page strategies. And then I gave you a list of freebies if you want to give them my audience growth pack. So yeah. Awesome.
So guys, I will totally share that with you guys. Once we get done with the video, I could go back in and share that link. Actually, what I'll do, I think I have it in the chat. I can copy and paste that. Actually, what I'll do is I'll do a bit.ly link.
Okay.
And I'll shoot it over, and then we can get that up because I'm trying to do 15 things at once here.
You're totally fine. I appreciate you interviewing me today. Thank you.
Awesome. Listen, Rachel, love you to death. You are truly a master and subject matter expert when it comes to this stuff. Guys, a few takeaways from a branding perspective, because I always want to tie this back into branding. You know, what did Rachel do today on the show? She showcased and demonstrated her expertise. She didn't just talk about it in theory. And that is the one thing that I want all you guys to take away from not only the mega value that she just provided to us today on how to connect with your audience on Facebook, but demonstrating and showcasing your competency is going to build that trust to help more people become part of your world and part of your community and your tribe. So don't let us forget that, okay, at the end of the day. So with all that said, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you got an amazing, valuable experience out of it. I will continue to showcase phenomenal female entrepreneurs like yourself, Rachel. I just, the amount of talent and the amount of just knowledge that I've learned from all of you guys over the past week and a half from interviewing all of you, it's just absolutely amazing and very, very inspiring. So keep up the great work.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. So guys, before we forget, if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, please do. If you haven't shared it with a friend or colleague, I thank you so much in advance for that. And if you haven't joined the Brand Doctors Hangout on Facebook yet, head over there and come join about 400 other entrepreneurs that are all like-minded, that are all trying to help and build each other's brand and business. And again, business building is a team sport. You cannot do this by yourself. So the more people, the more good people you can get around you to help you take you where you want to be, and you can return that favor some way, somehow down the road, that's how you grow. So with all that said, guys, have an amazing day, and I will catch you on the next episode.